I'm happy to have here Alberto Guerra, the CEO of UniTeller, and we're here at the CrossTech Payments event. So we're very happy to welcome Alberto. Please, thank you very much for your sponsorship, for being present. And I'm just going to ask you right at the first question, which is, we just saw your announcement that UniTeller is moving into the B2B space. You're focusing on that after your very successful career, let's say, as a company into the P2P space. So tell me a little bit more about that.
Yeah, thank you, Hugo. And first of all, thank you for the invitation to be here with you. And congratulations for the event. As we've been talking, we're true believers of the future of payments, business payments, and we're really excited and happy that CrossTech created this event for that purpose, which we think is the future of our industry. Well, we made an announcement today. We're happy of announcing to the industry our new business payments capabilities. As you know, UniTeller has traditionally been a P2P company. The company was founded more than 7 years ago, focused on P2P remittance payments, and specifically to a few countries, US to Mexico, Central America, very traditional remittances. In 2007, UniTeller, as you know, was acquired by Grupo Financiero Banorte, and since then, we have been working into transforming UniTeller into a cross-border payment company, initially into P2P, investing not only in our processing capabilities, but also on our platform, our digital services, and very important, developing our network. And one of the purposes of that was to make sure that UniTeller had the capabilities not only to serve the traditional remittance companies, but also to start and to serve other types of businesses. And not only for Mexico and Central America, but also businesses that want to make payments more global. So it is now, and we see this as part of the future of the company, of the industry. It is important to see how companies are transitioning, from the P2P space to the business payments. But also, on the other hand, you have companies that were traditional business payment companies that are now transitioning into the P2P space. Because why? Because they were serving businesses for payment to consumers. So for them, the transition and the process of saying, hey, why don't we offer P2P payments as well? So you see a lot of crossover. And what we believe one of the advantages that we have is, on our opinion, P2P is very difficult because of the diversity and the number of transactions and customers that you have, and the sophistication that you need to have in place in order to provide the service and the transaction repair, the compliance that is needed at the consumer level. So we believe that we have probably the most difficult part of the puzzle solved, which is the P2P payments. So I'm not saying that business payments is going to be easy. No, don't take me wrong, but having solved the capabilities of solving the last mile for the person-to-person payments, I think it's going to help us to transition into the business payments space in a more seamless way. So today, what we're launching is our capabilities. Our capabilities involve API capabilities to onboard corporations, financial institutions, fintechs, neobanks, and connect them to our payment network. We are also offering a white label as a service solution for businesses that want to take advantage of developing a payment capabilities using their names, but without getting licensed or without having to register. We're also doing ULink Business, which is our digital solution directly for small businesses. So small businesses are going to be able to register online, configure their payers, and have the full suite of payment capabilities.
That's very, very interesting and very important. Now, it's I know that you have created this network of the end payers. In many of the countries, you have that direct connection to the end payers. Some of them are ready to do business payments. Some of them are not. That's true. Tell me a little bit of the challenges of let's say, convincing or acquiring this business payers that will accept, not only because of the capabilities, but also on the regulation and the desire to move, because this is where I see one of the challenges. Convince your payer, look, let's do business payments.
Yeah, no, you're right. And well, we began this project like 3 years ago. And one of the key aspects was making sure our network was business payments ready. So yeah, you're right. It took a lot of conversations, which some of them are still going on.
Okay.
And it took a lot of time in talking to financial institutions, to banks, to our network providers, and tell them, this is what we're seeing. Can we introduce business payments? At first, some of them were like, no, this is impossible. Our product, our channel is only P2P. We can't do it. And yeah, in some cases, you were talking to your counterparty, which was someone only doing remittances. But as the industry is evolving and as more companies are entering the space, and I think the trend now we have some of these financial institutions getting back to us and say, oh, remember when 2 years ago you talked about business payments? Now we're ready.
Okay.
Can we talk?
Good.
So, I mean, it's been a process. Definitely there are institutions that are not there yet, but we do have, in my opinion, now the majority of our network either already online, ready to process these payments, or in the process of getting ready. I think, you have banks here. You have a bank here that use very traditionally in remittances as one of your sponsors. But they are seeing the opportunity on business payments, and they're asking the question, and how can we get into it? How can you help us?
Yes, and what do you need from us to be able to
Exactly.
serve you in our country? Now, we're talking about banks. For me, it's always been very interesting, Banorte owning UniTeller as a fintech, because I know how sometimes the mentality between a bank and a fintech is somewhat different. It's, for me, because I've seen your journey and I've talked to you about it, it's really interesting how the Banorte group has really believed in UniTeller as a fintech, as a growth of UniCenter. Tell me a little bit about that. And I think it's important, because when I see banks doubting about how to enter, how to partner, and some of them I discuss with them their openness to this industry. Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, no, I think and you're right. For Banorte back then, we're talking 2006, 2007. Banorte wanted to be a major player in remittances, and it was impossible to become a major player in remittances, because every time we needed to do something, every time we needed to integrate a remittance company, it was a process that took the bank 3 years. Why? Because you needed to make line with projects that deal with consumer lending, consumer products, deposits, credit cards, whatever. So it was very hard for us to push a remittance company into the pipeline of whatever projects Banorte had. So back then, but Banorte had back then the vision to enter the space and to become a major player in the space. So back then the decision was made. The only way that we can do this is, buy a company, buy a gateway, build a gateway, or buy a company and convert it into a gateway, and they start doing that. So I think that's a set example of how, yes, UniTeller is part of Banorte, We do, and we have a lot of corporate governance because we're part of the group. We need to make sure that we follow corporate guidelines. We're heavily audited, heavily overviewed, but we have an independence in the way we do business and in our technology on how we do integrations separate from the group. So that gives us, in my opinion, the best of both worlds, because we have the corporate governance, we have the controls in place, we have everything.
You have the flexibility to move,
to
especially
business.
because this industry, this cross-border payments industry, is so dynamic. It changes so fast, and business payments with partnerships that you need exactly to get to certain countries, to certain corridors. So I know that you, as a fintech, you need that flexibility.
Yeah.
So it's been interesting.
It's a nice combination, and I think at the end of the day, when you, as a company, are giving the results and you're providing the growth and you are looking and exploring into new opportunities, it's amazing to see, now more often than before, that whenever the bank or the group has a need, they talk to us. Can you help us with this?
Good.
Because for them, it's like, we have like now a couple of projects that I cannot disclose now, but it's like, the group is like, it's going to take us 3-5 years to build this. Can you help us with what you have? Can you help us? And we look at it and say, yeah, we can help you, and we can process these type of payments for you. So now they're looking at us, and sometimes they look for a vendor and say, well, and then someone at the group says, well, why did you look for that vendor? We have our own fintech. Let's see if they can do it. And sometimes we can't, and sometimes we tell them, no, there's no way we can do that. But there are other times where they say, we can definitely help you. And that's part of the benefits in the case of Aberto, having a company like us that can provide this type of solutions and accelerate the time to market, which in some of these cases is key.
Yes, definitely. And look, we're happy to see your journey, and are going to be watching all this new developments, the things that you cannot disclose now, because I expect great things, and I know you for some time, and I know what you have achieved. So I think there's a lot of success in the future. So hey.
Thank you, Hugo. And also likewise, I like to see the journey of the CrossTech, and now with this conference. So excited to be part of this partnership and working together and continue to grow together.
Yes. So thank you very much. Thank you.